So let's talk about May. Now that the eclipses have passed from March and April, never mind the fact that they will continue to evolve and most likely themes that we'll be working on till the next eclipse. However, Mercury is out of retrograde. Eclipses have passed and we are entering May. And if you haven't seen my video, the first thing that's going to happen in May is the transit of Jupiter into Taurus. This transit spans from May 1st, 2024 to May 14th, 2025. So this is a very long and significant transit for everybody. It just depends on how it's going to affect your personal chart. But everyone, the collective, will feel this one, especially if you have any earth signs such as Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Let me clarify. This is Sidereal Vedic astrology, so make sure you have your accurate sidereal chart available when you are looking for where these signs will be in your chart. That will tell you how Jupiter will be affecting you. But I've already made a video of that. So wherever you found this video, you'll find that one. Then on May 10th, Mercury transits into Aries. And we all need this to happen because Mercury has been doing the most in the sky since March. It's gone through debilitation, retrograde, back and forth between Aries and Pisces. Part of the eclipse, it's been a lot, okay? However, now it's going to go into Aries. And from here, it's going to join the sun, the exalted sun, and Venus. And we're going to be able to have a lot more clarity than we've had in the past few months, given its unstable state. So now that that's all cleared, we're able to move forward. Now our ideas and creations can begin to take form as Mercury, our intelligence, is empowered by this exalted sun that's going to motivate us to take action and birth our new creations. Whenever we have planets piling up in the sign of Aries, we know that's the green light to take action. Many of us will feel the inspiration, have the courage and the passion to go forward and execute our goals and our agendas. In fact, this is something that you're going to see as a pattern every year around this time. This is why it's spring. You know, it's the beginning of things. And we're going to see a lot of that take place and take shape in the month of May. Something else is taking place on the 10th of May, as this is called Akshaya Tritiya. It's the most auspicious day of the year because the sun is exalted in Aries and the moon will be exalted in Taurus. But this year is going to be extra special because Jupiter is in Taurus. This planet of knowledge, wisdom, and expansion will give an extra blessing to whatever you begin on that day. Then on June 14th, the sun will transit into Taurus, where Jupiter is. This transit will last from May 14th to June 14th. The thing about this, though, is Jupiter will be combust. That means that any planet that comes too close to the sun gets super hot. It gets burnt by the sun, and so does the significance of that planet. Jupiter stands for knowledge and wisdom, hope, optimism, counsel, and guidance. So these things can be compromised during this time, and that will be from May 7th to June 7th. And there's a particular reason. The sun, whenever it combusts any planet, stands for ourselves, our ego. And therefore, be mindful that you are evading wisdom in your choices because you really are desiring something. The sun doesn't do its best in Taurus because that's a Rajasic sign and the sun is Sattvic. It's righteous. And therefore we can allow our pleasures, our desires, our selfishness, we allow that to get in the way of what is right. Be mindful of that during this period of time. Something else to keep in mind is Venus is also combust. So relationships, let me tell you, the month of May will have a lot to do with relationship. The relationship energy is palpable. Same thing, when the sun combusts Venus, We may compromise situations in our relationship due to our selfishness and our own ego, our own desires. Listening to good advice may be something that you're like, no. Or willingness to compromise in relationships, no. But these are the things that we need to have harmony and peace. These are the things that we'll have to be mindful of during this period of time. But you know what people will be ready to do besides compromising and listening to better judgment? Speaking their mind. Mercury is in Aries. That means people are going to be saying what they think, and you have to be mindful of the impact of what your words may create. Because Aries is a combative sign. It's a fiery sign. And something you might say may burn not only somebody else, but you along the way. And that brings us to May 18th. This is a very critical time of the year and the month. And I want you to pay special attention to the days leading up and around May 18th. That is because the planet Mars will conjunct Rahu, transiting over the eclipse degree. And that is very powerful. Mars, the god of war, a very, like I said, combating, fiery sign, is about to team up in conjunction with Rahu, this planet of amplification. The two together create a volatile energy. And I'm going to say it straight up, it's violence. It is very volatile. And whether we're having that in our country, potentially, so please be mindful of that. Try to avoid crowded areas around that time, a few days before, a few days after. But also keeping in mind when you're talking with other people, when we got all that fiery energy in Aries, that we're not burning bridges, that we're not creating more difficulties for our lives. So if you can, understand what's at play. Understand if you're feeling frustrated, if you're just ready to snap. Try to take some time to yourself, all right? Try to create spaces of tranquility and peace around that time to keep you from popping off. Generally speaking, this is such a volatile and explosive energy that it could produce some type of natural disaster, some type of attacks, violence. I know that we've been having the protests, and so something very significant is going to take place around that time that is going to change things. And so with that being said, please do yourself the favor of protecting yourself and being mindful in the areas that you are, especially when it's big crowds of people. Then the very next day, on the 19th, Venus will go into Taurus. Now, Venus rules Taurus, so this is a very strong position for Venus. She's comfortable here. She's joining the Sun and Jupiter. Not her most comfortable placement for the people surrounding her. However, Jupiter is about abundance and Venus is about wealth. So a lot of wealth can be created. Just make sure you're doing it the right way, because some shady behaviors can take place. This is going to have a lot to do with our money markets and currency and things around that, including your own ability to create wealth. With Venus in Taurus, Jupiter and the Sun, and Mercury switching signs on the 31st into Taurus as well, we're going to notice a lot of energy is being put into spending money, gaining money, but a lot of having to do with beautifying things and buying things, investing. There's a lot around money. So be wise, because you know that Jupiter's combust. Be mindful of the whole relationship factor. I'm telling you, check your relationships. This is all the way going into June. But I'll come back and I'll tell you about June later on. Check that ego and that shady behavior, trying to do the most, trying to get the most. Let's just try to do the best we can in the month of May, okay? So, with that being said, I will see you next month to give you the cosmic insights. Until then, many blessings, y'all.